And we're live.
Oh, hello.
Hello, hello.
Good morning, all of you savages. Checking us out, peeping us out like a bunch of peeping toms, wondering what Algo Factory's all is. All is. You're trying to find out what we all is.
What we all is.
Yeah, what we all is.
What
Well,
is you
tell
is?
you. I tell you what we all is. We are the only place in the world where you're not only going to learn how to trade, but more importantly, we train you to build your own algorithms that is unique to you. It's as unique as your face. It's as unique as your fingerprint. It's based on your psychology and modalities, and we show you how to work that algorithm so it works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. AlgoFactory.tech is the only place in the world that does that. And he's the cowboy. I'm the gorilla. And we're about to get into it. Let's do it, cowboy.
Heck yeah. I'm
listen,
just
real quick.
What's that?
One more thing.
Sure.
Don't leave money on the table. We are cheaper than a monthly Starbucks habit. And I'll be honest with you. Cowboy's going to put that QR code on the screen. Scan it. Scan it with your phone. Give me 6 months of your time. And if you don't feel like a badass in 6 months, you come see me. All right, let's go, Cowboy. Let's do this.
I feel like a badass right now just after hearing that, bro.
Hell yeah.
You can get
I didn't even have my
juice.
coffee yet.
All right. I'm going to actually take
I'm still drinking pumpkin spice, so you can make fun of me all you want.
Yeah, pumpkin spice and we're on YouTube. I can't say what I want to say, bro.
I told my wife what you told me. I said, you know what? I drink this pumpkin spice. And Nick's like, what are you, a white girl?
I'm going to let everybody know in Discord that we are on here.
Mm-hmm. Let them know, yo. And if they don't know, they better ask somebody. I mean, that's just what I'm saying, cowboy.
If you don't know, now you know. Oh, yeah. No, I'd be like pumpkin spice and male gametes.
Male gametes?
Gametes. Gamete.
Male gametes?
Is it gamete or zygote? I forget which one is gamete. A gamete is once the sperm and the egg have combined.
Yes. That's a gamete? I thought those were gametes.
No, gamete. Actually, gamete is not.
Oh, you mean gay meat?
I'm talking. Well, I'm talking about zygote. You like to have wait, single diploid. Oh, this is no. Zygote is a eukaryotic cell formed by when the sperm and the egg meet. So the gamete is the sperm. So I'm saying that or I think the egg as well. So if you like to drink pumpkin spice and male gametes.
Oh, you're disgusting. I take it one step further. I get this. What am I saying one step further? This is going sideways.
Let's go way sideways, off the rails, man.
All right. I was going to say I get this pumpkin spice coffee from Trader Joe's. It has orange peel and nutmeg and all this other, whole bean vanilla in there, like actual, herbs and seasonings. And then I brew the coffee, and I have the Starbucks non-dairy creamer. That is, it's a blend of almond milk and coconut milk with coconut oil, so there's really no seed oils in there, and that's also pumpkin spice flavor, and it's absolutely delicious.
That Starbucks is going to cost you about. I'm sure it tastes really good. It's going to cost you about like $7-8
for the creamer,
for the whole thing.
No, I make this at home, so it's like the creamer.
Oh, okay, so you're smart. You're not stupid.
Yeah. I'm not stupid. I use the Trader Joe's coffee and the Starbucks creamer. It's delicious, non-dairy, because I can't do dairy, man. I get congested like you would not believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have some kind of allergy then.
Yeah,
I love dairy, bro. I do. I drink raw milk every day.
Well, I think I can do that as well. I think it's the processed milk, the homogenized, pasteurized, that affects me.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. So anytime you have a phospholipid, which is going to be like, dairy fat, anytime you have or egg fat, I think phospholipids are in eggs too. And if you either superheat them or if you flash freeze them, then they become oxidized. And so oxidized phospholipids actually create arterial lesions, and arterial lesions are where plaque gathers and where, it causes eventually, what's the term when an artery gets, like blown out, and it gets clogged? Is it aneurysm? Yeah. Either way, it causes congestion.
It's called heart attack.
Heart attack. Yeah, it's just causing
cardiovascular infarction.
Infarction. Yeah. So anyhow, so that's why I drink, I do raw meat. Now that I thought that I know this isn't about trading, folks. Stick with it. It's Friday. It's slow. There's not a lot to talk about on the trading
There
game.
really isn't.
There really isn't. Like, we'll talk about it. We're going to get into the charts. We're going to get into a few things, but we're actually going to talk about the consolidation game today. And I know it's a conversation we've been having. And so, the Algo Factory crew kind of has a little bit more information than I'm giving here today, because there is actually a clue as to how to play these. And I think it might be the overall best way to trade. And we're going to get into that. So, stick with us. But when it comes to oxidized phospholipids, I thought that the Kerrygold butter was cold churned, but I don't think it is. I think it's heat pasteurized. It's
I thought it was cold churned.
I thought it was too, but I'm looking it up, and I've been using the Kerrygold forever. Costco has it on sale right now. I just bought like 4-packs of it. I'm gonna go buy some more when I get back out. But you want it if it's cold churned butter. It's the same process. It's the same lack of pasteurizations. Pasteurization essentially is like superheating, if I remember correctly. And so you're boiling it to kill off whatever cultures are in there. And those cultures are actually, they can be, look, not all bacteria is bad. Your gut is full of bacteria. So when you're kind of, like those proteins you buy at Muscle Max, like 95% of that is a scam, because the protein is denatured. What's that?
That's a fact. The protein.
Yeah, it's trash. Like, all you're doing is taking in calories, like sugar and calories and carbs. They're the protein my wife sells. And then, I'm not trying to, I'm not even going to say what company it is. I don't want y'all to think I'm trying to fucking, excuse my language, trying to promote her stuff, but she sells one that's actually live culture protein, and you have to keep it in the fridge. So, when like cake mixes, cake batters, they flash freeze the eggs. That will go ahead and oxidize those phospholipids. Those proteins have the same problem. So look, that we're not doctors. Well, actually, V, you do have a degree in clinical nutrition. So yeah, I don't know if you have any licensure at this point, but V knows this stuff way better than I do. Yeah, it's, there's a whole world to it. And if you're going to be a trader, we're going to make this about trading. If you're going to be a trader, one thing you gotta be healthy. You gotta be on top of your game. Do not trade on drugs. Do not drink and trade.
Traders on cocaine, that's a Wall Street thing, guys. I mean, that's a Hollywood thing. That's not reality, man.
That's not reality. Yeah,
that's not reality. I haven't met a single trader who's doped up on coke. You have to be Adderall. Yeah, maybe. Right? Yeah. I've seen Adderall, but not cocaine.
Addies for sure. I'm going to say cocaine happens, but I don't think it happens for long, because you can't like keep that up. Yeah. Those are rookie numbers. Like, people, jerking off to freaking Wolf of Wall Street. Like,
Hey, come on, it's Jordan Belfort. He embellishes a lot. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, that was a good movie though. I guarantee there's guys doing blow trading. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you're pro traders if you ever meet them. Here's the thing about trading, and this is going to come down to the psychological aspect. And I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here, and we're going to get into it. This is something that I really, over the years, used to discount. And it really was a mistake. And it's part of why it took me a few years to become truly profitable, outside of, like getting into crypto at the right time. And look, the psychological aspect of trading it's like a 3-legged table. You needed to have the technical aspect down, right? You need to have the business aspect down, and you need to have the psychological aspect down. And if one of the legs of a 3-legged table is missing, that table does not work, right? So it's not to say that one's more important than the other. It's a formula where all of these things have to be in place. Now, the psychological aspect is going to be in place through Algo Factory, like I say, on the Rogue Show yesterday and last week, that when you build your own algo that's based on your own personality, just like V was saying at the beginning of this show, right? It's like your fingerprint. Trading is very personality based. I can't think of who it is right now. No Nonsense Forex, who I like people to check VP stuff out. He's really good. And some of the way he builds algos is actually, there's some of his DNA in this course. It's not, we do our own thing here, but anyway, one of his guys that he runs a prop firm. It's Maverick Trading. I would even say go check out Maverick, because they're really good. They're conservative. And his comment on the psychological trading is that in his whole, prop firm, which is where people go to get like allocations to trade, like you apply, you pass a test, they give you money to trade, you keep whatever 80%, I don't know what the percent profit is. He has people take a psychological, like a Briggs Myers type thing. And then that way, if you know the kind of personality that you are, then you can sort of manage your psychological aspect of your trading and you can build around that. I know my own psychology. That's why I tend to scalp. Like that trade that we all saw me lose 2 days ago, I made that back and I did it in like a few hours of scalping. They first of all the conditions were there, but secondly to jump in and out on small trades, that's my personality. To hold something for like 2 weeks, I can't. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I know that about myself, so my algo is built around that personality, right? If I try to trade outside of my personality and outside of my method, then the psychology goes down the toilet, and even if I'm making good trades, I am not profitable. This is how it works. This is how it's going to work. And if you are not healthy, then that aspect is going to be a problem for you. You need to have your mind right when you're trading, and drugs and a bad diet and no sleep. Look, I'm kind of the exception. Yeah, I'll sleep for 4 hours and I'll come in and I'll kill it, right? But I also sleep another 2 hours in the afternoon. And I'm also the kind of person that it's just I can just do that. Not most people cannot do that. I would not recommend sleeping 6 hours, total and doing that. I'm a different kind of beast. And guys in Wall Street, the successful ones, they are a different kind of beast. But if you are somebody who has like that 9 to 5 and you want to do some swing trading and you just kind of want to learn how to do this and, not push too hard, and you're somebody who needs their 8 hours a night, this is well within your grasp. You don't have to be an animal like myself. V, I'll be talking to V. We'll be texting back and forth, and it's like 2 a.m. for him and midnight for me. Like it's just the kind of people we are, that we're a different breed, because we're doing, I'm doing trading and handling multiple businesses. So is the gorilla. But if you are somebody who has that 9 to 5, you don't have to have that. You don't. And what I'm trying to point out here is that you don't have to all of a sudden try to manipulate your personality with drugs to try to be something that you're not. That's not how it works. You design an algorithm that is around your personality. Somebody trading 4 times a month because they're a swing trader and their trades only come up once a week, they can be very profitable and they can do this and they can do it in a big way. So if you think about it, right? Think about it this way. If you have a hit rate, right? Let's just say your hit rate, which is your rate of success, right? How many trades you win and lose. Let's say you're like 65% hit rate. Yeah. Okay. And then let's say that you have a risk to reward ratio of a 1 to 3. A 1.3 to 1 is what I meant to say. So basically what that means is that your average risk to reward is that you're putting in $100 and you're making 130, right? Or you're putting in $1,000 and you're making 1,030. So your expectancy is 65% of $130. Let's just say you're putting in $100 a trade, right? So you're risking 100 to make 130, to keep it really simple. I'm not going to try to do that in my head, even though I could, but it's just, I have a calculator, so why not? 65 times 130 is going to be 84.5. So 84.50 is your expectancy. What does expectancy mean? Expectancy means that for every time you click the button, whether you win or lose, right? Every time, if you factor all your losses, all your wins, that means every time you click that button, you're making $84.50. So that is based on back testing. So it's not necessarily going to be reality, but that's a baseline for your algorithm, right? So that's what that means. That's what expectancy is. Now, if you are somebody who, like I say, you have that 9 to 5, you can only find maybe a trade a week on average. Maybe some weeks you get 2 or 3, some weeks you get none, but on average, you're about 4 trades a month. Think about that. You're making $350 ish, right? 4 times 832, a little bit more. So yeah, roughly 340, 350 every month. And that's just like finding a trade, maybe once a week, maybe not, maybe a little bit more. And that's extremely attainable, very attainable, working for just a couple hours a day on this system. And you're averaging roughly $300-400 a month. So you got a fair portion or even a whole car payment handled that way. So that's risking very little money. And that's not a whole lot of time. And these numbers are realistic. Now, I'm not guaranteeing this because nothing is guaranteed in trading. It might be twice this, it might be half that. But what you do is and look, if you want more than this, then you can experiment and you can figure out an algorithm that gives you a better chance of getting more than this. So I'm not saying it's guaranteed. It could be more, it could be less, but these are the kinds of things that we create at Algo Factory. And, like once you have your methodology down, you've studied, you've back tested, with that 9 to 5, maybe an hour or two a day on average, that might take you a few months, maybe even longer. It just depends on your speed and all the in your dedication, really. But look, you want to go and be a doctor, excuse me, and make 150 a year or more if you're a surgeon, then you're in school for like 10 years and you're in debt for 100,000, 200,000 or 300,000, however much it is to get through medical school and so on and so forth. All right. So if you want to go be an attorney, that's another, I think that's like 7 years of school, right? Undergrad plus law school, which is 2, 3 years, depending on how hard you hit it. And again, a couple 100,000 in debt, right? And then as an attorney, you're making 100, 200, 3, whatever your number is, right? Depends on what kind of attorney, a lot of things. But yeah, and by the way, March, we'll take a look at that right here. We'll take a look at your. So anyway, my point is here, instead of like spending all that money and going to school, look, if you want to be something, go be something, right? You want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a botanist, like I respect it 100%, as long as you're not hurting people. So, and that takes time and dedication. Well, so does this, right? Nothing's anybody that's like, I've got my system, come trade my system, you'll become a millionaire and all this, those people are probably going to be a scam. And even if they're not a scam, even if they have an honest to goodness system that works really well, it's not your system, right? And it's not that common to take a system designed by somebody else based on their psychology to become successful with that. That's why you have these, groups that have like 5,000 members and like 8 of them trading. I mean, I see it all the time. And that's because people lose faith in their system, right? Because look, and I said this yesterday and I say it pretty often now, you could have the perfect best system. There's no such thing as a perfect system. You're going to take losses. Everybody takes losses, but you could have a very optimized system, a system that is profitable, like without a doubt, right? But if even that system is going to have losing streaks, right? It could be market conditions. It could just be bad luck. When you roll on the dice all the time, there is an aspect of chance in this. Now we tip the odds in our favor, but there is that aspect of chance, right? So you're going to have streaks when you lose. And if you haven't tested this and it's not based on your personality, the probability is very high that when that losing streak hits, you're going to quit. So if you develop your own algo, you test it, it's based on your personality. You've looked back through time, you say, hey, I saw that there was a losing streak of 6 trades back in, whatever, February and March of 2019, whatever your data says. When that happens again in the next 6 months, when you're actually live trading, you go, well, okay, we know these streaks happen, right? Maybe I take a break, for another week. Maybe I just back up, maybe let some market conditions change, whatever the number, decrease my trade size, whatever it is. But no retooling. I know my system's good and it'll be fine as long as you have your system and it's tested and the statistical probability of success, right? So that's what Algo Factory does. And this is just an example, and it's not a guarantee or anything, but it's a very reasonable example of how one could have something that only wins 6.5 times out of 10, not a big risk to reward. It's not like you're risking 100 to make 900. It's just a 1.3 to 1, and how you can actually do the math. And this can be very, very helpful with very little money and without being some crazy, really good system. Let's give an example. Year-end finance. Now on to the next. We're going to chart year-end finance for March. Let's see here. I remember year-end back in the day was, if I remember correctly, that was like following Bitcoin. I think it's worth, back in the day, it was worth like $15,000, $16,000. YFI, you're not finance, yeah. So it's YFI. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it's about 15,000 now. Wow, yeah, Yearn. Dude, I forgot about Yearn. Yearn is a great thing to trade. Look how smooth this is. It's on the 30-minute, and the candles here. This looks like a forex chart. Go in and trade this. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a 30-minute chart. So let's back out. So I got the hiccups over here. So it's just been on a tear since 8 November. So what you're seeing here is it's just a pump, and it's a FOMO pump, and everybody's FOMOing. And what I do not do is I don't FOMO into green candles. It's just unwise. Look, we're at a time in the market where Bitcoin has kind of moved up, and it appears that it may have topped. That's what my charts are saying, that we could have already seen the top. I'm not saying for sure. I can tell you by the algos, Yearn is just FOMOing because it's hit a high point. It's hit resistances on the SMI, on both the daily and the weekly, right? So it's just going until it doesn't. So what I can tell you about Yearn is that, yeah, of course, the only thing you can really do is look at old structure. So I'm going to jump up to the weekly on this at this point, but there's no indication of like whether or not it's going to stop because it's FOMO, and you really can't chart FOMO except for looking at like supports and resistances, right? So it just broke a resistance from back in August-ish of 2022, which is right here. Now it could dump back below that, right? But let's just say we're in a situation where alts continue to all FOMO for a while. And I know the last time I looked at Bitcoin dominance 2 days ago, I think it was, gave us an indication that Bitcoin dominance is on the downslide. So based on everything we're seeing and hearing, there could be a bit of alt FOMO at least until Bitcoin turns around. And the fact that it has spiked up in 3 weeks from like 6,000, say, to 15,000. So nearly it's tripled, right, in value. It could triple again. I mean, let's just say Bitcoin stays in its, in this kind of higher range for another 2 weeks. We could see it continue to FOMO. It's very possible. And a lot of alts could do this. I mean, we're right now is a mini alt party for sure. So I would be looking at 25,000 as a place where, it might turn around. You might really hit some, because right now the alts, I mean the algorithms, it's in FOMO. There's no algorithmic indication that this is going to slow down or speed up. So you can't really rely on algos at this point, except to say that it's in FOMO right now. Now this could change the next day or two. I'd be looking at the weekly SMI for that, right? So because the daily SMI is telling us 0, the weekly SMI is in a dip now, and it certainly is slowing down. But that can stay up there. The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So I would not be shorting this right now. That's for sure. There'd have to be a lot of conditions. Among them, Bitcoin dominance would have to start rising.
The funny thing, real quick. I'll
say again.
Right now, the funny thing, real quick, with this whole BTC stuff, right? And posted an article yesterday on our Algo Factory, our chat, private chat. One of the things, it is struggling. Okay, BTC right now is struggling to find liquidity at 31,000.
Oh yeah, that's a good post you put in there last night.
33,000. Yes, it's struggling. Why? If the institutions are behind this play, like I said, do you think it'd be struggling at 31,000 or 33,000? No, because the liquidity would be there. It's not there. It ain't there, Bubba.
Wait, and I just brought it up on the screen what V is talking about, and V posted this in our Algo Factory Telegram last night. There's no liquidity really to speak of until, say, 44,000.
Right.
And I don't think Bitcoin has the juice to make it there. Not to say it couldn't. It could do anything. It could go to 500,000 tomorrow. I mean, there's no guarantees, but yeah, I don't think. I think Bitcoin may play around in the area that it's in until it doesn't, and that might last until I think before the end of the month. We're going to see Bitcoin back down into the 20,000 range, and probably, I know my newer low side target is around 25,000, but once price gets down there, what can happen is people can go long, and they think that it's hit a low, and when they go long, they're going to have liquidity below that, because that's what happens when you go long. Your liquidity is going to be below price, so it's a stop loss, right, or liquidation. So it could jump. I mean, it could go all the way down to 15,000 realistically, if you ask me. So yeah, we got Jay Martin in the house. Good to have you as always, sir. Thank you for joining us.
JM.
So JM, yeah, Jay in the house, man. But yeah, that this is the liquidity map. Now, Yearn Finance may very well be on here. YF, there it is. So here you go, March. And March is the homie. I've known March since 2018, and we actually met in real life a few times in first. That's how we know each other, not through the internet, but through real life. And March is the homie. So let's get the liquidity map for Yearn. Not to say there's any special treatment for that. I'm just saying March is good people. That's all. No data on Binance. Let's see if I can get it on, say, BitGet. I thought Yearn was on Binance. It's very odd. It could just be that there's no liquidity maps for some technical reason. I don't know. But if it doesn't come up here, then there might be just an issue. Okay, so all the liquidity to speak of at BitGet is down at $6,400. So basically, what it looks like is everybody's long, and their stop loss is below I'll just line it out for you, 6,400 ish. So everybody's long, and the stop loss is like down here. That's what it looks like. So it looks to me like not a lot of people are playing leverage on Yearn Finance right now. That in and of itself is not a bad thing. It creates liquidity traps, and liquidity traps mean that price can make very large moves without a lot of impetus, without a lot of volume, right? Because there's just no one to sell to. So if there's nobody selling and you're buying, then price is going to go up, 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 up. Eventually though, that'll change. Well, I mean, almost guaranteed. So I'd be looking at price action and algos. Right now, there's nothing being said by algos. Price action right now, there are 4 days left in this weekly because of the way that crypto works. So it right now is slowing down, but this could just easily speed up and continue. So I wouldn't really look at this price action until at least this candle and maybe another. And I'd be looking at these resistances anywhere from 20,000 to 25. If it makes it up there, that's where you're probably going to run into some trouble. So we're at the end of the show. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to throw up QR code, and Gorilla, can you get us out of here? We'll go over to the private.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, don't sit on the sidelines and wondering why the profits are passing you by. Join us, algofactory.tech. Scan the QR code and join us on the other side. And with that being said,